Hey, friends and family, welcome to another episode of the Reimagine You Lab podcast. I am MG, and of course, I want to welcome you all. And as you join us today, I want you not to forget to hit the subscribe button because every Friday we drop a new episode, and you know that we are in the TEDx series. Some of the most amazing people with amazing ideas worth sharing are in the lab with me, and we're talking about the experience, the change, the what happens next, all of the things. So make sure that you tune in. You will love meeting some of the guests because they have been absolutely amazing. So I welcome you. And today, no doubt, I've got an amazing guest in the podcast today. Listen, let me just tell you guys that there are some amazing people in the world, and we've got Christine. She's going to tell you guys all about her, but I want to welcome her. She is someone who reminds us that the greatest transformations often begin with a single decision. And Christine Stowe has journeyed from caregiver and advocate to elected leader, author, and now international TEDx speaker, helping others discover the courage to see the possibilities before the world can see them. So today, I welcome you into the lab. Hello, Christine.
Hi, Michelle. How are you going?
I am good. How about you?
Excited to be here.
Excited to be here. Well, I'm so glad that you are excited to be here. We're just gonna chat. We're gonna have a great time. Now, Christine, I did let you know before, and all of my guests already know, the listeners know, we're gonna go beyond the bio. So, Christine, tell them who you are, where you are, what you do, and perhaps most importantly, how you do it.
Oh, where do I begin? So I did science. I worked in forensic science, and then I became national sales manager for the organization that I was working for, and then had my second daughter and found out there was something wrong with her. So the bottom totally fell out of my world.
Yeah.
And so then I had to reinvent myself or reimagine myself.
Yes.
And from there, some people asked me to stand in a state election, and I did that and went on, and then some more people asked me to stand in a local government election. So I got elected, and I've been elected twice now. So
wow.
Full-time carer. My daughter requires 24/7 care. So she's 25 now, doesn't walk or talk. So, and she's nil by mouth. So she's pretty serious care, but I've been elected twice to local government. So yeah, and it's one decision away from making a different decision, from reinventing yourself. And when I look back at all the things that I achieved them because I decided. I decided I was going to do this. I decided I was going to do a TEDx.
Yes.
And there wasn't anything else. I was doing a TEDx. So, and some people said to me, I'm in Australia, by the way. It's Melbourne.
Yes.
Like it's 5:00 in the morning. So I flew to Houston.
Yes, you did.
People said, how long did it take you? I said, it's 36 hours. I said, you flew 36 hours? And I was just like, I just did it. I was doing it, and I'd made that decision. And the crux of my whole story or my message is you decide what you want to do, and then you put it into action and you take the steps.
That's it. I love that. I am totally an action person. Like, don't tell me that you have a goal because I want to hold you accountable to it, right? But no, I love that. And Christine, you just experienced something that many people only dream about, standing on that TEDx stage. And it took you 36 hours to get there to do our 10 minutes, right?
That's right.
But it's so worth it. So, but now that the applause has settled a little bit, how are you feeling now?
So many opportunities have opened up. Doing this podcast, people are asking me to speak. People are asking me to be on TV. So it's not just that. It's that being in the room with all the fantastic people like yourself and that energy. And when I stopped and I went, wow, all those people that have great ideas and great energy and changing the world. And I was there and I was part of it. It's like,
yes.
Because I made that one decision.
One decision. And it was a good decision, right? Like, I always think about, there's the things that we want to do, and, having the deciding is like the biggest piece of it, right? You got to make the decision. But I absolutely love that you did that. I love how you say that. Now, Christine, when I think about like your backstory, and you just kind of share with us, you've worn a lot of hats throughout your life. And before people knew you as a speaker and this leader, who were you becoming to you?
I was on a corporate trajectory. I was a corporate leader. And again, I decided I was working in the lab in forensic science, and
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get out. I wanted to get into sales, and I was this little mouse, little laboratory mouse that didn't talk to anyone. But I decided that I wanted to get into sales, and people were like, "What, you? You're a lab person." But I decided I wanted to help people. I think in my heart that that's what it was. I wanted to help people. I knew talking to people. So I moved interstate to move into sales, and I did that, and I became state sales manager and then national sales manager. So from this little lab mouse to speaking to doctors and anesthetists. So I was on a corporate trajectory, and then I was married with a white picket fence and 2 cars in the driveway and all those things, and found out you had my second daughter, and then was smashed into it like a pinball machine, finding out that my daughter has a muscle condition, talking to doctors. At one stage I counted, we had 12 health professionals and para-health professionals. They're like phone calls, like here, appointment, this is what they're saying, we don't know what it is. And so it was a really hard period. I was depressed. But I thought to myself, there has to be a way. There has to be a way. I've got skills and abilities. There has to be a way to be able to bring those to the world, to use them. So, and then, as I say, I was in the right place at the right time, and people asked me to stand in the state election. And as I said in the TED, it was at the forefront of what is now NDIS in Australia, which is National Disability Insurance Scheme. So that's a $50 billion program to help support people with disabilities. So tiny little political party, and people say those little political parties can't do anything, but we were on the front edge of
leading the way.
So it's what can you do? It could be a small contribution, but you start the ripple.
It does. No, I love that. When you were sharing in your talk, I had a chance to actually listen to it, and looking back, when you think about like kind of how you've mentioned that your daughter's diagnosis really kind of changed the whole trajectory of your life. What did that unexpected season teach you about yourself that you couldn't have learned any other way? Because I always think even the hard things, there's something about us that stands up that we wouldn't have expected. And probably had you not been in a situation where it was called forth, you may not have. But what would you say?
I think that we undervalue ourselves as women. And looking at so I was elected to local government, and then after that I was helping people write grants, find money from the government, and we have skills and abilities. I was thought skills and abilities. I wouldn't have recognized those things if it wasn't for my daughter. I would have been on this corporate trajectory. That would have been the dream. Flying all around the world, no time to think. So I was able to stop and reconnect with myself. I was able to stop and look at, well, who am I? What do I have? I'm able to help people find money for projects and programs that their heart's desires. So it allowed me to take a step back and reflect on myself, but on other women, particularly women, because I said, I just did a TEDx. It's just I flew for 36 hours to get there. We minimize what we have. So these are the things I've recognized. These are the things I wouldn't have been able to help people the way that I have. So I recognize that we have skills and abilities within ourselves, and often we make them, small, and we working for the man and doing what what we're told, but we have other things that we can bring to the world. So those are things that I learned that I wouldn't have learned if not for my daughter.
Yeah, no, I love that. You know what? When I think about that whole TEDx experience, I've heard many speakers say that preparing a TEDx talk changes them as much as giving it. Was that true for you?
Yeah, preparing for it, yes. Because when I look back, I went, oh my God, like took all these steps. I was
Mm-hmm.
focused on doing it and had the dream for 5 years, but then I decided this is it. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, in not just preparing, but in making the decision. And when I realized, I got there. So it was all just a process. But when I stopped and went, I applied all the things that I ask other people to apply. Decide
Yes,
steps.
100%.
Don't
Yeah,
get stuck in the weeds.
don't. No, I mean, and that's so true, right? Like it's almost like I always use the little phrase, the cobbler's children have no shoes, and it's because the cobblers are making shoes for everybody else, but isn't always making their own. And so, yeah, like that's a big deal. I love that you recently had a post on LinkedIn, and you said, I wrote the TEDx wasn't really about learning the talk; it was about learning to trust the vision that
Yeah.
didn't yet exist for anyone else. Tell me more. Tell the audience more about that.
So when I said I was doing a TEDx, I'm elected to local government. And
Yeah,
I said, I'm doing a TEDx. And everyone was like, what's that?
it's a TEDx.
They don't understand.
I
These are
got some
people,
of that too. Yes.
leaders of the local community, and they're saying, what's that? So I had to explain it to them. And then before anyone had the vision, me standing on the red dot and people around me, what are you doing? What is that? What are you talking about? You just need to have the vision before I believed it myself, before I
Mhm.
believed myself, and then get other people along for the ride to believe it with you. But you need to have the vision for yourself. So
Yes.
then we say, oh, I can't do that. Oh, I can't imagine myself. Oh, and we get waylaid. We get distracted by, is this really me? So you need to step up and have the vision and keep going for it before you have a chance to stop and question yourself, and before other people question you.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that was probably the biggest thing on the journey, because like in my mind, everybody knows what a TEDx is, right? Like everybody knows the whole TED. But there were so many people that didn't, that I was like, yeah, like my mother didn't know. So it was
Yeah.
interesting. Were there?
But funnily enough, younger people seem to know. Like when I ran into the travel agent, I said, I'm doing a TED. He went, oh, that's really good. Like, so I think
Yes.
that people are, more up with social media. My daughter knew what it was. So maybe younger people know.
They did, for sure. For sure. Were there, because it is kind of making that decision and stuff. Christine, was there any moments that you questioned whether or not you belonged on the stage?
All the way on the plane. I was hoping the plane would get delayed. I was hoping it would fall out of the sky. I was hoping this, like, I'm really scared all the way. Like, I can't do this. And it's like, oh no, the plane's landed on time. Oh no, we're
Right.
in. So all the way, all the fears are coming up until I got there. And then getting into being there in the moment, in the rehearsal,
So, yeah.
then in the actual moment, and then I walked away and came back home and I went, I want to stay in that energy.
And I know, like that, it's a whole vibe. It was
Yeah,
really a whole vibe.
and I loved Houston. It was everything's big there. It's just I just love
Yeah,
it.
Texas for sure.
So I'd love to come back, and when the dust settles a little bit, I'll look at what else.
It's
What else?
there
Yeah,
that you
because
can
it's
do.
the vibe. But not just it's not just about the vibe. Like it's the journey, it's the presentation. The other thing that struck me was the people that my talk resonated with. I didn't
Mhm.
expect that. Like I knew that this is what I want to tell the world, but when I
Yeah.
went out to the crowd after, all these people said, "Oh, I really understand because I know someone who's a caregiver. I really understand because." because, you have to step outside the certainty box. So people are taking different things away from it, but I
Yeah.
was surprised at how much it resonated, but pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, you know what? And that is the good thing, because a lot of times we're dealing and grappling with the things in our lives that, it, even though we know that we're not alone, is you're dealing just with your things. And so sometimes you don't even really realize how many other people there are outside of our normal circles, right? Like, the folks that you deal with and all of that. But, but outside of that, like, there's a whole world, there's a billion people on the planet. And
So
it resonate. Yeah.
I was watching something last night, and he said, if you've got an idea, if you've got something to share, share it, because the people are out there that need what you want, what you have to share. You really,
Absolutely.
to play small, you're holding yourself back from sharing with, was it Marianne Williamson that said, don't play small, because there's
Yeah.
people out there that need what you've got.
100%. 100%. As a matter of fact, I think about, when I think about you and others like you, there's this level of expertise and this signature genius that you have, and you help women discover their value and step into leadership. And I think, why do you think that so many capable women do underestimate themselves? Why is that? What have you seen or learned?
We don't realize our value. I tell a story about when I first got elected to council, and this was exciting. I was elected on a countback, so everyone else was at the table, and in my head, I'd done the photos, I saw the pictures on the wall, but I got to the table and I went, there's only 3 of us out of 11.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just thought we were all at the table, but we're not. So I think what's going on is that thing where we go, I'm just an elected councillor. It's not much. We play small. We don't step into our genius. And when you hear males, I love men, don't get me wrong, but they go, yeah, I'm elected. Yeah, I do that. And by the way, I'm a best-selling author, whereas
all the things, right? Yeah. Easy, confident, bold.
Yeah, whereas we say, I just help people, or I'm just a caregiver, or, I'm just a mother. No, being a mother is the greatest gift of all.
It is.
That's like a miracle. So we should celebrate that.
Absolutely. I agree with that. When I think about, and I love how you just shared, right? Like, the energy and stuff. What do you think confidence actually looks like? Is it something we feel, or is it something that we practice?
Something that we practice. With my daughter, when I wrote my first book, I've written about 2 books, by the way. When I wrote my first book, I went away for the weekend, and it was the first time that I'd left her with somebody else. And I had to practice actually being able to leave her. I had to practice allowing somebody else to look after her. And then after that, I practiced a little bit more, and and then I ended up taking my other daughter to Disneyland in the US and leaving, Imogen, my daughter, with caregivers here in Australia. So I had to practice. So you have to practice stepping into that confidence. You have to practice. These things they don't just happen because, you can decide, but you still practice. So confidence, you need to practice. Fake it. If you have to.
I love that you do, and I hear there's always a lot of conversation around, this whole imposter syndrome and this whole disbelief of, but there's a lot of women that have done amazing things, and do have seats at the table, and the seats are the minority seats. It's not as many women as it is men still, but there is something that absolutely magnifies. Like, I love when women have these type of conversations and do the thing, right? And we encourage them to do the thing. If someone was standing on the edge, Christine, of a dream today, what's the first decision that they need to make?
Decide that it's going to be for them.
The saddest
Often,
will be for them.
often I see women, and I've helped a lot of women,
Mhm.
but I see them say, "Yes, I want to coach, or I want to help more clients," but
Mhm.
they're not heart committed to it. It's
Yeah.
a dream, and they're not stepping into it. They keep them, they let the doubts carry them
Mhm.
away.
Mhm.
So if they're
Mhm.
standing on the edge, step up. Maybe we can all play being imposters until we get there. Maybe we can
That
say imposter syndrome is our best friend, girlfriend.
it is. It is.
Make her your best friend. So somebody standing on the edge, like I said, you've got something that can help someone else.
For sure. For sure. You know what? I love that you are an author. Tell us about the books that you have written. And we definitely listen, right now I am putting the plug in. ChristineStowe.au is the website. The link and everything is down in the description. So you guys go and check out Christine in some ways. As you're learning, there's so many things that she helps people to do, especially women in leadership and wanting to continue to grow. Christine, when I think about let's do I'm going to just do kind of, I want to learn more about even the books that you've written, because I know that they are for helping. That's what you do. So talk a little bit about the books.
So the first book I wrote is not just Imogen's mother. So it's all the hats that I put on, all the things that I had
Mm-hmm.
achieved. At that stage, I'd achieved being elected to government. And so I'm not just Imogen's mother. When as a caregiver, talking to the doctor, and they would say, "So what do you think, mum?" I thought, I'm not just mum.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
a caregiver. I'm her advocate. I'm now an author, elected to local government, all of these things. I'm not just mum. And so we need to step into that identity. So I wrote the first book. I went away for a weekend. It was a retreat where we
Mm-hmm.
write the book and then come back and have it transcribed and publish it. But
Mm-hmm.
from that moment when I wrote my first book, I wanted to write another book. I wanted to put together a compilation of carer stories, because that book gave me the opportunity to stand on stages, to have credibility, to talk to government officials, organizations. The book was like a business card on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
gave me credibility, and I wanted that for other caregivers like myself. So
Yeah.
I thought, I write the book, I put it off for 7 years. And
7 years.
And then my best friend passed away. We'd walked the pathway of finding something wrong with both our children, set up a support group for mothers of children
Mhm.
with disabilities. And one day she just didn't wake up. She was the same age as me. And I thought, what
No.
am I waiting for?
Right.
Who else is going to who else is going to pass away? So with that, I found the courage and the strength to step up and collected 10 other caregivers, and we
Mhm.
published the book, and we had the biggest night, and it was so amazing. And so now those other 10 women are also authors, also have that credibility. So
Yes.
don't put it off. If you have a dream, don't put it off, because I always dreamed that my friend would be in the book, and then she
It's
wasn't there anymore.
amazing.
Just don't
Yeah.
know when it's going to be your day. So step up.
Step up. Don't put it off. I love that. I love it. Christine, okay, so you are ready for this is the quick spark portion of the show. So I'm gonna ask you a question and I want you to complete it in one sentence. Okay? All right.
Okay.
So what belief have you rewritten recently? A belief you've rewritten.
The belief that it can't be done.
All right. Good. Good. What does courage look like today?
Stepping into what you believe is right for you.
All right. And one word that describes this season in your life. What season is this for you?
Abundant.
I like it. I like it. I like it. What are you learning to trust?
Myself.
Come on, Christine. Listen, these would be all the answers. These would be all the top 100 answers if we were playing Family Feud right now. All right, coffee or tea?
Coffee, always coffee. I have a saying, if something's going wrong, if you can't get along with someone, let's sit down and coffee it out.
Coffee it out. I like that. All right, the book everyone should read.
My book, Not Just Imogen's Mother.
Not Just Imogen's Mother. I love it. And what's one impossible dream that you're still holding on to? You're gonna step into it. What's the next one? I know TED was one. What's the next?
The keynote speaker for the Disability Conference, Australian Disability Conference.
Okay. I'm going to be praying that happens for you soon. Oh, I love it. You know what? You have shared so many great, beautiful thoughts, like dream and decide and take the step, like don't hold back, right? If you could unpack each of those for someone who's listening, who may feel stuck, dream, decide, take the steps. If you were unpacking it for somebody stuck right now,
yeah,
what would you say?
What is your dream? Close your eyes and what is that dream? And imagine yourself taking the steps to that dream, because anything, it's all possible. Don't listen to the people around you. Don't listen to the doubts. Make imposter syndrome your best friend.
Make imposter syndrome your best friend. I like that. That's a good way to do that. I love it. I absolutely love that. One of the things that I always ask my guests to do before they leave the lab as we're winding down the show, and I always hate when it's time to wind down the show because I feel like we just got started. Yep. But what are your top 3 pieces of advice for change makers? I know that you said, hey, take the step, close your eyes and create what is the dream? What is it that you want? What, if there's 3 steps, what are those 3 steps?
There's a saying that is, you are the average of the 5 people you hang around with. Mm-hmm. And I think that was rubbish until I started hanging around with politicians, and then I got elected. So if you want to get somewhere, find people who are doing what you want to do, and try to find a way to hang around with those people. I found a way to hang around with TEDx people. Yes. It is true. If there's something that you want to do, look at who else is doing it. Even if it's just on the internet, on YouTube, if you can't afford it, but find a way to spend more time in that headspace.
I love that. Okay. To find the people that are doing the thing that you want to do and do it. Okay. I love this. Christine, you've lived through amazing moments that chose you and moments that you chose. And looking back, do you think that change has been the greatest teacher for you?
Yes. Change. I had to change to accommodate my daughter. There were times I didn't know if I could do that. And I used to think, you gave it to the wrong person. This isn't meant to be. And then I realized that I'd stood in elections, I'd spoken for people with disabilities and caregivers, and then I went, you knew what you were doing. Like, I used my courage and my ability to speak for others and my background to be able to help other people. So it has been the right pathway.
Yeah. No, I love it, Christine. It has been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out in the lab with me today. Is there anything that you want to say, that you want to share with the audience before we wrap up?
Yeah, if you do have a dream and you think it's not possible, then think about, how can you step outside the certainty box? How can you take a different perspective to make what you want true, to take those steps and move forward?
I love it. Christine Stowe. You guys can find Christine at Christine Stowe, STOW.AU. She's came in all the way from Australia. It is super early in the morning. I'm assuming we were your first appointment today.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
But we are so thankful and so glad that you were able to join us. You guys look Christine up. She helps women, she helps leaders to get to the places that they want to go. So definitely check her out. So, Christine, thank you for joining us today. And I will see you next time. Know that you have an open invitation to the Reimagine You Lab podcast. All right?
I'll check it out.
All right, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, friends, family, thank you for tuning in to another episode. You know, every Friday we've got a new episode that drops. So make sure if you haven't subscribed, please hit the bell so that you will be notified when the next episode is up. Until next time, I will see you guys later.